And hello, welcome again to a special episode of Hello Haymarket. I'm your host, Nyce, and today we have
Nayia Pierrakos.
absolutely so excited to have an episode with you. Thank you for joining us today.
My pleasure. Thank you.
So, Naya, what I really wanted to cover today is a little bit about your journey, right? Because as our listeners know, our podcast is largely about our journey, right? As a young couple going from owning no real estate to eventually following the models of some of our mentors. And I've heard your story. It very much impressed my wife and I. We're so excited about the opportunity to learn from you. And I think anyone out there today would be, they would benefit tremendously from kind of hearing not just the wins that you have now accumulated, but also the struggles that you had to overcome to get there.
Yeah.
So if you would be willing to share some of your story.
Of course, my pleasure. So I got started in real estate some time back. Since I just stopped saying the
Long
year.
time ago.
A long time ago.
Yeah.
Because I'm only 20, so I started when I was 2.
That's absolutely.
So I guess I became a business owner at the age of like 23.
Yes.
I was lucky enough to get laid off.
Mm-hmm.
So my journey started, I got pushed into becoming a business owner. My mom helped me. I'm in my mid-20s. I had those little kiosks that you see at local malls and airports, that people could buy sunglasses from.
Yeah.
So within a few years of that, I was doing so well and generating a couple $100,000. And then I was like, okay, what do I do? And I met a real estate agent and he said, get into real estate, get your license. So in 2004, I got my real estate license. There, I went to a bank and I bought a couple of houses traditionally, my first investment property. And I remember how scared I was, how nervous I was to get the first one in Manassas, where you guys live.
Yeah.
And I had a tenant, I had a Section 8 tenant, so I learned a lot. I bought a couple of investment properties like that, but soon I realized that you will run out of money.
Yeah.
If you have to put 20% down for an investment property. My husband at the time and I started having a family, 2005, 2006, 2007, so we had a couple of kids. And I said, let me be a stay-at-home mom. Then the crash of 2009 happened. And that changed a lot of things.
Yes.
Our house at the time was, in 2007, it was valued at $750,000. And in 2009, my husband at the time got laid off, and I was a stay-at-home mom. So imagine people without a job. We had to short sell it,
Yeah.
and that was tough because that's the house that was at the time our dream home,
Right.
where we had our 3 kids.
Yeah.
And
And for the folks out there who don't know what a short sale is.
so it's, let's say you have a mortgage that you own, you owe to the bank. You have your loan balance of $500,000, and the property values dropped. In our case, we had a loan of 525, and the property values after the recession dropped to like 380. So we short sold it. We got approval. The bank accepted a lower amount.
Yeah.
Okay. For what we owed.
Yeah.
That's what a short sale is. And we were lucky enough that they didn't come after us for the difference, because
Yeah.
the banks had a right to do that too.
Yes.
And you could get taxed for
Yeah.
that.
Jeez.
So it was tough.
Not a happy time.
Not a happy time at all. Not a happy time at all. Like we moved from a 4,500 square foot home into like a condo
Yeah.
that I had to go up 4 flights of stairs with a toddler in that. Like it was tough.
Jeez.
And like points of, even points of depression, like everything hits you.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
Because
I can imagine.
you lose a ton of money, and when we had a business at the time that was not doing well, we lost over $200,000 in the business. So I was like, daycare is too expensive. I can't afford daycare. It's $2,000 a month
Yeah.
per kid. So I said, what can I do to help my family? And I said, real estate. Let me get into real estate investing.
Yeah.
So that's where I met my first mentor.
And that feels so surprising, if I can be honest, right? When real estate takes a nosedive and we decide to jump into real estate.
I jumped in during the nosedive.
Yeah.
That's true. You know, you're the first one who mentioned this. I was like,
You must have had a very different mindset than what I think a lot of people. in that
actually, yeah,
situation
let me
would
tell
have.
you that mindset. So I was an agent at the time at a Keller Williams office.
Yeah.
And I had a conversation with a broker when in 2007 when the market was doing well, and the broker, and I was like, oh my gosh, you know, I want to buy houses. The appreciation was increased 20% per
Yeah.
year. I'm like, this is great. I'm like, what do you think? And his response was, he's like, sell. I was like, what are you talking about? I'm like,
Yeah.
are you kidding me? You know, I'm
Yeah,
about 20.
yeah.
And his idea is like, I'm selling everything.
Yeah.
Now the market is gonna crash. I'm like, what?
You're right. Right.
I'm like,
Yeah.
what? So when it happened in 2000, when it happened 2009, 2010, I said to myself, you know what? Even though I'm going through all this hard time,
Yeah.
these cycles happen every 10 to 10 years or so, 7
Yeah.
10 years. We're at the 14-year mark. We're way overdue for
Yes.
for a correction.
Correction.
So it's gonna happen soon. And then I said to myself, you know what? That's okay.
Yeah.
I'm still young. Next time this happens, I'm gonna be so prepared.
Yes.
I'm gonna be so prepared. I'll know exactly what to do. I'll think there's no stopping. And that helped me. That kept me going.
Yeah.
And a little background. So I am Greek. I'm originally from Greece, from Sparta. So and I came to the U.S. when I was 11, and I didn't speak a word of English. So my mom, is like my biggest supporter. Growing up, she was like, "Who are you?" Every time you felt like I was an outsider in this country, and I was like, how can I make it? She's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "You're Spartan." I'm like, "Come on, you're a warrior. You could do this." And I created an identity subconsciously without even knowing.
That is so important too, right? Because we often think, oh, we'll rise to the occasion. But no, we actually fall to the level of our standards. And those standards are built around our identity.
That's right. So for me, my identity was like, I'm Spartan.
Yeah.
Like, yes, I'm in the U.S., the best country, the opportunity, but who am I? I'm like, I'm a Spartan. Who are Spartans? Like, I went to ancient history. I'm like, come on,
Yeah.
Leonidas. I'm like, oh.
Maybe 300.
That movie 300. I'm like, yeah, this is Spartan, exactly.
I love it. I love it.
So yeah.
So then what happened?
So 2009, 2010 happened. We had to short sell our house. And then I talked to one of my employees, actually, because we owned a franchise that was not doing well. Keep in mind, we lost
Yeah.
200,000. And she had worked for a title company, and she connected me with a rehabber. Someone who was buying houses and renovating and flipping them. And my first meeting with him, I said, Dave, keep in mind, I had a business. We had
Yeah.
a business. I was like, Dave, can I follow you around once a week?
Yeah.
And something really unique. I asked him, what's one of your favorite books? So I don't know how we got into books. And he said, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill.
Oh yes.
And classic. And you know what I did? I opened up my purse and I pulled out
Pulled
the
it out.
book.
Yes.
And I said, I just started reading this last week.
I love
Like,
it.
I love the synchronicity, right?
Yeah, it reminds me of the first time I ever got linked up with the Casa Group. I came to their office and I walked through, and they had a library there at the office of all books that I myself had been studying and reading. And for me, it felt like I had fit together like a puzzle piece. I was like, this is my tribe.
Yes.
Because we have the same beliefs,
Yes.
right? That's how it felt for me.
Yes. So I've had a lot of stuff. So I too, with Kaza and Grid, I feel the same way. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. So I started following Dave around, and I did my first renovation with him. I followed him around for a year. So I did a couple of rehabs. I learned a lot from him. But not only the good things, I also learned what not to do
Yes.
from the mistakes that he was making. And something that scared me, because I still had the recession fresh in my mind, Something that scared me was, my God, he's using hard money lenders.
Yeah.
And he's signing personal guarantees. I'm like, I have to sign personal guarantees.
And we may need to pause and explain those two terms, right? What is a
Okay.
hard money lender and what is a personal guarantee?
Okay. So a hard money lender is an individual or a company that charges you a much higher interest than the bank would. And that interest is due in a shorter time frame. So you know how we get a loan from a bank and it's like a 15-year mortgage amortization, like loan amortization, or
Yes.
30-year loan.
Yes.
So a hard money lender, because the intention is to turn around and flip the house fast
Yes.
in 6 months or 12 months, something like this short time frame, okay, they're taking a bigger risk,
Yes.
supposedly, which they are,
Yeah.
and they charge a lot more for their money.
Yes.
Where a bank would charge you, smaller, like 4, 5, 6,
Yeah.
7% interest rate, 8, whatever. A hard money lender can charge you 10, 12, 15,
Yes.
18
Yeah.
with points.
Because-
I've seen that.
Because they're funding these deals that would not even qualify oftentimes
Exactly.
for a conventional loan.
Exactly. But this is what they do to secure their position.
Yes.
You fill out their application, and they make you sign a personal guarantee after you have listed all your assets.
Right.
So for someone like me,
Yeah.
who had a couple of investment properties already, I had rentals, for me to list my assets that had equity and
That's
feeling like, oh my God, something could go wrong, okay?
and then they'll come after you.
And then they just take my assets. They could
Yeah.
even take the house that I'm living in.
Yeah.
That did not feel comfortable at all.
No.
So within time, you've heard the phrase, when the student is ready, the teacher appears?
Yes.
Okay. I like saying, you use that all the time. I was asking, and I'm like, God, there has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. There has to be a better way. I went to an event in New Jersey, and I met this guy, and he's like, how is the subject do? And this is like 2011, 2012. I'm like, really? I'm like, I've heard of this thing. How does this thing work? So he told me, and I was like, oh my goodness. And he's like, oh yeah, my mentor is Marco. Marco Rubel is a genius. That's what he said. And then I was like, okay, give me this contact, give me this person's name.
Yeah.
So I reached out to Marco, and then I went, and he became my next mentor.
Yeah.
I invested $20,000 at the time to learn how to do
Yeah.
things like
It's
that.
a lot of money.
A lot of money.
Right.
Especially when you don't have it necessarily.
Yeah.
You have to move things around. You get credit cards or whatever. But I trusted. See, I was a real estate agent already, right? I had a couple of rental properties. I had a couple of renovations, flips that had seemed to go well.
Yeah.
And then I said, when I found out that you can buy a house by taking over someone's loan,
Yes.
guys, I was like,
You saw
I
the
won the lottery! Literally,
Yeah,
I felt like, oh my God, I won the lottery.
Yeah.
Like, I was so excited. I was like, this is gold.
Yeah.
This is gold. That's it. I don't need anything else. And from that point forward,
Yeah.
I never used a hard money lender again.
Yeah.
I've used private lenders, private individuals that
Sure.
loan me their money.
I can remember hearing you speak before, and you said that you haven't had a loan in your name in how long?
Oh,
Like,
I haven't had a loan in my name since before the crash.
yeah.
How
And that blew me away because it's not like you haven't been involved in real estate. You
Oh my God,
you
I
own
don't
a
even.
lot of property.
Yes.
Right.
I don't even know how many properties I bought.
Yeah.
Yes, not a loan in my name.
That's incredible. Right. I think that right there is something that stopped me and made me pay that much closer attention to everything you said after that. Right?
That's good. I
Yeah, because it's a paradigm shifting moment to understand that you don't have to have these loans in your name in
And-
order to take ownership of these properties.
Exactly. So yes, so I was like, yes, I won the lottery. I'm like, this is the way to go.
Yeah.
And I was super excited. And let me tell you, I had like a knowing almost. So when I when I met that individual from Texas, I forget his first name, and he said to me, "This is how you would buy real estate." And then I met a local person in this area,
Yeah.
Joe, and Joe said, "Oh, I buy houses subject to." I met him I met him at a grid chapter.
At a grid chapter.
At a grid chapter. We're talking about going way back.
There's a plug for grid, guys.
Plug for grid, guys. I've seen the journey. I'm like, yes.
There's a serendipity at play of putting yourself in the right room at the right time, and you meet someone who could change your life.
Yes. So I met Joe, and Joe is like, I buy houses like this, and I had never met anyone locally that could do this.
Yeah.
And I went to him. I said, I need to talk to you at the event.
Yeah.
So I went up to him. I said, listen. I said, I'm gonna find a deal.
Mm-hmm.
Can you help me do it?
Yeah.
And he's like, sure. I got his contact. Like he wasn't in know me. No joke. Within 3 weeks, I had a virtual assistant, a VA, okay, in the Philippines, and she was calling for some owners for me.
Yeah.
And I got a lead from Craigslist
Yeah.
for a property in Reston.
Yeah.
And I called Joe, I talked to the seller, scheduled an appointment. I called Joe. Joe, this is it. Let's go on the appointment. We did. We closed it on the spot. The situation was, it was a young family. The wife was pregnant. They had a little son, and they were building a new home, single family home.
Yeah.
And that was going to be done in like the next month or two.
Mm-hmm.
And they couldn't. Their mortgage lender would not qualify them to hold both mortgages. They said they had to, based on the debt to income ratio, they had to sell their townhouse. And when we looked at it, we went through the numbers. Okay, this property had been listed on the MLS for a couple of months. It did not sell. Let me tell you why. It had a purple room, it had a green room, and it had those plastic accordion type doors, closet doors.
Yeah.
So it didn't look, up to par cosmetically. But me having that background, right, of like, renovating houses, things like that, I learned from Dave.
Yeah.
I was like, this is easy.
Yeah.
Easy fix. So we looked at the numbers, we negotiated, and they had a loan balance of $325,000.
Yeah.
Okay. That property fixed up. The
Right.
fair market value was like 380.
Yeah.
Okay. So now they agreed
Yes.
for us to buy that property by just taking over that loan of 325.
And win-win, right? Because for them, they were trying to sell this thing and no one was biting.
Exactly. And not only that, when you take out commissions and closing costs, all of these things, and when I explained to them that, hey, in order for you to get 380, you need to make all these changes.
Right.
Okay. You need to make these updates, blah, blah, blah. It costs you money. So they knew that there was not much net there.
Right.
So when you explained this to them, then they understood.
Yeah.
So my first feeling, when I got home, I remember that night, I got home, we had signed a purchase and sales agreement. And I felt like, did I do something illegal?
Because it was so beneficial.
Because I was like, I'll buy a house, and then we closed like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
And then close 2 weeks later, and I also brought closing costs to the table.
Yeah.
Less than $4,500, or it was around $4,500. And then I was like, I bought a house that's worth $380,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
I bought it for $4,500.
Yeah. That's really good.
I was like, thank you. I'm like, thank you, God. Thank you.
I'm sure everyone out there would take that deal too.
Yeah, yes, you should.
If they
You
really-
should.
If they had it.
And if you come across a deal like this, let me know. I'll help you. We'll do it together.
Right. You can be the mentor for them. Right?
Yes, exactly.
Precisely.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But it was phenomenal. So, pros and cons of
Yes.
being a rehabber, flipping houses versus holding properties long term.
Yes.
Right? So, before what I learned with Dave is he was flipping houses every 6 months or so. A negative to me was that you have to sign your name on personal guarantee, hard money lenders, high interest, all this stuff. Your margins are short. Second thing that is not so beneficial is taxes,
Yes.
because you're paying ordinary income. You're at an ordinary income tax bracket. It's a job.
Yeah, it's a job.
It's a job.
Because you actually are putting in the time to earn active income,
Exactly.
taxed at a higher rate.
Exactly. Versus holding that property as a long-term investment, which can be turned passive. And then when you sell it down the road, like a year, 2, 3, 4 years down the road, you get taxed as capital gains.
Right. Which is less.
Much less, like half.
Yes. And that's if you ever sell it.
That's true.
I mean, or if you do sell it, you might, depending on what you're using that money for, you can 1031 exchange.
But you can. You can.
And then kind of defer that even further.
That's true. You could get it more and more bigger, but so depending on your needs and where you are financially,
Yeah.
right? And I talk about that, people should have a budget in place. So for me, I ended up selling that property. I did a lease with an option to buy. I found the tenants in there. He gave me I got a $10,000 non-refundable deposit.
Yeah.
How much did I pay for that house?
Like half that.
Half that. So I got more than that, right?
Yes.
He was paying me rent every month.
Yes.
So that paid the mortgage every month,
Yes.
right? So guess what? His job relocated him and he could not buy the house, so he walked away. So what I ended up doing, within the 18-month mark, I renovated a bathroom, something more small stuff, like some patio in the back, painted, and I sold it on the MLS because I have real estate agents that I work with, for 400,000, or like 410, something around there. Okay, long story short, every month that you have a mortgage, you're getting principal balance reduction. So 18 months later, that loan balance that was originally 325
Yes.
was like 312.
Yeah. And not just that, but because these loans are typically like 15 or 30-year long notes, depending upon where you are in that amortization schedule, you might be putting a significant amount of principal down.
Yes, absolutely. I have properties that I'm getting $1,200-$1,500 a month in principal.
In principle.
In principal, I have another one that's $2,000 a month.
Going straight to your net worth.
25. I have a property that I bought seller financing where the seller became the bank for me because it was
Yes.
free and clear. It's off topic, but that property I'm getting
Yeah.
$2,500 a month because it's a 0% interest.
0% interest rate. Seller finance is like golden goose.
Yes, but golden goose.
Yeah.
But let's go back to
But
something.
also,
Yeah.
this only works because it works for them too, right? We have to be problem solvers.
Yes. So I talk about this all the time. Your goal is to make a friend first. Secondly, genuinely care about the other person, their situation, and find out how you can help them.
Yes.
And the fact that I had this in my toolbox,
Yes.
right? The
Right
strategy,
job.
yeah, then they trusted me based on my experience, based on my background, based on, you can feel someone's integrity. So you can tell if someone is telling you the truth,
Yeah.
or if you can tell if someone is trying to take advantage of you.
Yeah.
We can feel it,
Yeah.
like the energy. Or like, oh, they're bullshitting.
Yeah. There's intuition there.
There's exactly
Yeah.
there's intuition, like no. So when we go with the right intentions, and then deals come together,
Yeah. Because the only deals that are going to happen are the ones where both parties agree.
where it's a win-win. Of course, you can't force anyone to do this. And this is the other
Exactly.
thing. My gosh, do you know that I bought houses like this from a CIA agent, retired CIA agent?
Yeah.
I bought houses from attorneys,
Yeah.
from real estate agents. I bought a house from a former federal judge.
These are not folks to be trifled with. These are all people who know what they're doing.
Who know what they're doing? They're educated, they're smart. So for them to be like, okay, I trust what she's saying.
Yeah.
She's a professional. She gave me the right facts. And you know what? She will deliver
Yeah.
because I had so much proof.
Yeah. You've got a great track record.
Yes.
And you understand it in a way where you can explain it simply.
Correct. Correct. But that's how I got started from a Craigslist ad.
Yeah.
And then when I sold it, I had a profit of $75,000
Yeah. Yeah.
in 18 months. And I was like,
And if you were to quantify how many hours you put into that,
oh my gosh.
I mean, your dollar per hour must have been astronomical.
Yes, so my hourly rate, really, my hourly rate is at least $1,000 now.
At least. Yeah.
At least.
For
Now,
for $75,000 payout over 18 months,
But yeah,
you didn't. It's not like you were in there swinging the hammer yourself.
no, and it didn't need a gut job, anything like that. I got painters in there. I put new laminate flooring.
Yeah. It was mostly about bringing the correct solution to someone's problem.
Correct.
Multiple someone's, in fact.
Yes.
There was the original seller and there was the end buyer.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So it's like it's such a win-win,
Yeah.
win for everybody.
Yes.
Like, and that's why I love this, and that's why I felt like I want the lab.
Yeah.
And in 2015,
Mm-hmm.
my mentor Marco
Yes.
brought me on board, and I became a national coach. And then I started teaching people all over the country how to do this.
Yeah.
And then I was like, this gave me such a level of satisfaction, especially when I helped individuals, and then they're like, you helped change my life.
Yeah.
I'm like, no, I did it. You did the work, but
Yeah.
I helped in the process.
Yeah.
But I was like, that is like the best gift, right? When you're seeing people free themselves. Because it's the imprisonments that we put ourselves in with debt, with other stuff, right? Or not knowing what
Yeah.
else we could do. So it's like, wow, look what the impact that you'll have in your family, in your community. So my mission, I don't know, I think I've shared it with you.
Well, let's hear it for
My mission is I want to help, I want to create 1,000 multimillionaires.
I love that.
Like I do, like, and
Yeah.
using real estate as a vehicle to do it, I believe that it's the best and most clear path. Okay. Knowing how to do real estate creatively using the strategies is huge. When you know how to do it right, when you prioritize people first,
Yes.
right? Make sure that you need, listen, there's documents, there's legal stuff that you need to do to protect yourself
Yes.
and protect the seller.
Yes.
Okay. So you need to do certain things right.
Yes.
Uh,
Well, let me ask a couple things here because clearly, as we're heading deeper into 2023, we have a higher interest rate environment than we had just in these last couple of years. There's probably a lot of people out there who have these low interest rate loans. But because the economy is somewhat struggling with all this high inflation, there may be some folks who are in trouble and need solutions, right? So clearly, creative finance, I think, is an incredibly valuable tool, and it's been made only more valuable this year. Right?
Correct. I mean, it's always, in my opinion, I've been doing this for over 10 years.
Yes.
Yeah, it's valuable all the time.
Right.
But as interest rates going up, you're right. Now,
It only becomes more so.
even more so. Because I bought like 4 houses in the last 2 months.
Yes.
Right. So I bought 2
Say,
houses.
wait, say that one more time.
I bought 4 houses in the last 2 months.
And you didn't have any of them in your name.
No. The interest rates
No loans.
were like between 3 and 3.5% on all 4 of them.
Yeah.
Okay. And I just sold a house last week that I purchased.
Yes.
I purchased 6 months ago.
Yes.
And because that was a quick flip, I did it in my self-directed IRA.
Oh, we're getting deep.
Oh.
Getting deep. I love talking about self-directed IRAs. In fact, we're actually helping my mother-in-law establish one because she has a lot of funds that we've been using to fund, actually, some of these more creative finance deals that need a little bit more money
More
in order
work,
to make
yeah.
it happen. Rob and Mike have been finding that for oil. And
Yes, yes,
we
yes.
actually just funded one last month, and we're going to be doing another one coming up. So, super love this topic.
Yes, yes. It's like your self-directed IRA, the things that you could do with leverage. So a real estate agent brought me this opportunity
Yes.
in Sterling in September. I talked to the sellers, and they had lived there for 30 years almost. The family, the house had not been updated, and based on numbers, okay, they refinanced the property, pulled up 500,000,
Yeah.
and bought a house in Pittsburgh free and clear.
Yeah.
So now when I showed up, based on the numbers, based on the loan that they had, 500,000 they refinanced, the one that pulled out,
Right.
the amount of work that would take to update it, okay, and my after repair value, what I could sell it for,
Yeah.
the numbers were upside down. They brought to the table $32,000. So
Yeah.
I got paid to buy.
You got paid to buy a
I got
house,
paid to buy that house.
and it still was the best available solution for that seller.
Yes, and I got a video, I got a testimonial. They're like, we did that, made the right best decision, and I took over that loan.
Yes.
So I used my IRA money to renovate it. The renovation was, because I had the numbers last week. It was like 100. Okay, all the money holding costs because the mortgage they had a 5% interest rate. Holding costs. It was a full gut job, and I finished the basement because it was unfinished. So like I did a fantastic job. It was like 113,000 all in, cost expenses. I sold it, so I bought it for like 485. I sold it for 729. Put in all my expenses, 113. The profit that went back in my IRA, the profit was like almost 110
So
in 5 months.
how can we work with you to do that, right?
No, it's
Well, actually, no. That is one of your goals. Is you want to make some multimillionaires. That's
yes,
one
I
of
do,
your
I
goals.
do, I do.
We work with a lot of investors who are interested in creative finance. Maybe this has helped them see the light, but they don't know how to get from A to B,
Okay,
right? What options do they have?
that's a great question. So one of the things that I put in place on right now, I have a course that I'm in the middle of like finishing. I have a group
Yeah.
of live, people, students going through it. It's a 7-week course that I go through every phase, the steps. Like we dissect everything, and I give them all the resources I have, from legal documents to tools, everything that they need, from start to finish.
Yeah.
And I also incorporate the identity piece
Yes.
because from my coaching, like having investors all over the country, I found out that most investors that were struggling
Yeah.
didn't have the right identity
Yes.
to get them the results they wanted to get,
Right.
right?
That's so important.
That is so important. So for me right now, the focus, like I call it the value amplifier, okay? So if you go to valueamplifier.us, US, you will get more information on this, but the intention is once, put the other person first.
Yeah.
Put whatever situation they're dealing with first. And then everything else comes
Yeah.
to play.
Right.
But so many real estate investors
Yeah.
are thinking, how can I take advantage of the situation?
Right.
When
That's
that-
not the right mindset.
Guys, listen, I'm not gonna lie and say, oh, I never had that. Oh, yes. I had, right when the crash happened and we had to short sell our house, I was desperate. I was feeling like, oh, what do we do? Like, I need to get a deal, I need money. Like,
Yeah.
Or
People are
broke.
depending on you.
huh?
People are depending on you. So
Yeah, like I have
it's
kids.
scarcity,
Oh,
like, I have to do something.
yeah, and I felt that. And you know what?
Yeah.
Those moments, I remember going on appointments and talking to sellers. And because I had that desperate energy, do you know how to
feel
get
it.
those deals?
Yeah.
They could feel it.
The intuition is there.
I didn't get those, like, I didn't have the confidence, one. Two is, I was like, I was more motivated than they were, and that's a turnoff,
Yeah.
right? For you, like, sound, like, I want to work something like that. And then I realized that after the fact, I was like, wow. I'm like, And then when I changed my mindset, I was like, you know what? Yes, I'm doing marketing, I'm doing what I need to do, I'm following the steps, the process, but my intention is the right individual is going to show up. I trust it. I'm going to help them out of the situation. And that was a game changer.
And that's what everyone should be taking the course if you intend to make this a part of your wealth building strategy, right? Yeah, you gotta learn from the best, right? It is the fastest path, I think, to
By-
success is getting in connection with
By
people
far.
who actually done it.
By far.
Which actually brings up the other opportunity I want to ask you about is you made a comment earlier on the podcast of if you happen to have a deal like that one, bring it to me.
Yes,
Let's work together on that. What has anyone managed to do that? Has anyone
Yes.
reached out to you yet?
Oh, yeah.
They brought a deal, and how did that work out?
Yeah, that has happened. Like, I got a call yesterday, actually yesterday, from one of the students who's in the class, in the course
Yes.
right now. And she's like, because of the course, I got so motivated, I took action. I was like, good job.
Yeah.
So she reached out, she's like, I have a situation. It was a pre-foreclosure.
Yeah.
And she's like, this is around where I live, 10 minutes from where I live. And they have an auction date on May 10th.
Yeah.
And she says to me, what should I do? She's like, I drove by there because I used to live there. I drove by there and there's boxes in the garage. There's people living there.
Yeah.
So I said, let's skip trace it and let's see, give them a call. She tried to call, things didn't happen. And she's like, what should I do? I'm like, do you want to go there and knock on the door?
Yeah.
And guess what? She did.
Yeah.
She knocked on the door, and what did I do with her? I was like, okay, so I'm coaching her along the way. It's like, okay, use my brain. Because right now, you're in the middle of doing the course, and you don't have everything together.
Yeah.
So use my coattail.
Yeah.
I'm going to coach you. I'm going to guarantee success. I'm going to guarantee you don't lose money. You don't do anything wrong. I'm like, okay, use my company, house buying business. Use this friend and say, my partner and I, bam, bam, bam.
Yeah.
We're here. We can help you.
Yeah.
And she talked to the homeowner. And he started opening up. Keep in mind, there's an auction date
Yeah.
for May 10th. And when she talked to him, listen, she did ask some questions, but that's okay. You make mistakes. That was the first time going.
Yeah.
I coached her afterwards. And now she put together a letter that I got this morning
Yeah.
that she was going to send to him. And go by there again on Monday because she's out of town this weekend.
Yeah.
So we're going to, like,
So we'll see how it.
let's see how
this
what
is
happens.
exciting. Yeah.
It's super exciting.
Could you imagine being that young lady who's working with you, who now has the backing, the confidence that comes with having, I don't want to say like almost a parental figure, but like, a coach, someone who's got your back to help support you forward.
It's huge. It's huge because if you don't have that, your learning curve, not that you can't do it. Of course you can. You
Yeah.
can do anything you put your mind to it. But the learning curve
Yeah.
is a lot longer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you may not even try.
And this is what happens. I've seen people, Think and Grow Rich. Go back to the book, Think and Grow Rich. The story
Yeah.
about 3 feet from gold,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That story I talk about all the time. So many investors do so much work. They're 70, 80% of the way there.
Yeah.
Guys, they're like, wow. They try, they're forcing, they're doing this. They're like, it's hard.
Yeah.
Or they hear a few no's
Yeah.
and they quit.
I feel like some people have a fear of failure, but then there's other people who have a fear of success. They're like, what if I get there and they open the door? Now what? Like, what if they actually agree and now I'm in it?
And I don't have the right paperwork. I don't know what to do. This
It's
is happening
an
to me too.
identity problem.
Yeah, well, that too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It becomes an identity problem where they're like, I'm not the person who's able to do this because they haven't yet.
Because they haven't yet, because they don't have the confidence and they're not prepared.
Yeah.
Confidence comes with preparation, having the right tools. So this happened to me. Like a long time ago, maybe 15 years before I learned how to do this.
Yeah.
My virtual assistant was calling for sell by owners, and I asked her, would you sold your house by me taking over your house? She's like, yes. You know what? I didn't go on that appointment because I was scared. I didn't have the right tools.
Right.
I didn't know what, I'm like, what am I going to have to sign? I don't know what to do.
Yeah.
Like, how am I going to explain this thing?
Yeah.
And do you know that to this day, I think about that.
You still think about
I still
it.
think
Like,
about
I
that.
could've had-
I could have had that. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Or she was ready, but she was worried. I could have helped her. This is the thing that's driving me crazy. I could have helped her.
Paradigm shift. You could have helped her.
Yes, that's what I said. It's not about me. I was like, I could have helped her. She needed someone like me to help her. And I didn't help her. That's what,
That's what sticks with you.
that's what sticks with me. I could have.
Well, in the interest of helping our listeners, if anyone out there wants to get in touch with you, what's the best way?
So you could go to Nayia, Nayia.us or valueamplifier.us, and reach out. I'm also on social media, Facebook, LinkedIn. I'd love to,
Love to talk.
connect and help you out. Or show you the process of going to succeed.
Let's get some more multimillionaires out there.
That's right. Let's do it. Like I already have a couple in the works right now. So let's get
that's
some
good.
more.
That's good.
Yeah, yeah.
Nayia, thank you so much for making
you.
time with us today. I really enjoyed our conversation,
Same.
and absolutely, I cannot wait to have a deal. I'm gonna take some more action myself because I want to do some more of these.
Good.
And, hopefully, I'll give you a call.
I'm ready for you. I'm ready for any time.
All right. Thank you, Nayia.
Thank you. Bye.